This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Break the Bell podcast, the show where we never have our shit together right at 7 o'clock.
Yes, hello, beautiful bell breakers. It is good to be here and not have my shit together.
It seems like every week this last year, my audio has just not been right. Well, I switched computers, so it's just different every freaking week. So, and you were late, and I said you were late, and then Derek called us out for being late. Derek Ambrose says, "You're late." We are late, but I mean, do you expect more from us?
I was going to
really?
say, if we were on time, there'd be more things messed up.
That's definitely true. I don't know how many times
History shows it.
I don't know how many times I've thought that I have my shit together. I thought I had my shit together tonight, and then the audio just was like all fucked up. So
if I was here earlier, then things would really be messed up.
But it was already messed up, so maybe if you were here earlier, maybe it would have been better this time. I don't know. We're here. That's all that matters, and we're talking about stuff tonight. Just stuff.
Just stuff. Random stuff.
Random stuff.
Yeah.
Election cycles officially kicked off.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that, man.
Some of the Republican candidates visited our home state of Iowa here, and apparently we missed all the fun.
Yeah, well, you know, we should have known, right?
I feel like we're not doing our due diligence as a podcast that's supposed to give a shit what's going on in the world, by not knowing that Desantis and Trump were going to be in Iowa this weekend.
Well, with the Iowa State Fair, they always have the candidates.
Well, I had kind of forgot that the fair was even going on.
Well, we had a lot going on.
Have you ever been to the Iowa State Fair?
Never.
I haven't either. It's supposed to be like the best state fair in all the state fairs,
Really?
which
That's a big call.
I know that's pretty big for being. I mean, I guess they got to be good for something, but
right.
They always have some really good headliners for musicians.
They do.
And I don't. Who was playing this? Was it Ludacris was playing this week? I think, or next weekend.
I heard New Kids on the Block, but they weren't ones I really wanted to see.
Oh man, it's like '90s haven sometimes.
Yes,
so because
it really is. Lately, it has been.
Yeah. So I mean, they got to attract us people with supposedly that they think we have money now,
right,
to go and watch those things, but we really don't. So we just don't go to the state fair. Maybe we should, but apparently DeSantis showed up, and then Trump showed up and trolled him hardcore. And
would you expect anything less?
No, absolutely not. And the headlines are like, defying all customs of whatever customs candidates have for the Iowa State Fair. I guess.
Would you expect anything less from Trump?
Well, exactly. You said that's going to be your response to everything I say.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, would you expect anything less?
What would have been cool is if Trump showed up, right, and it comes down out of a helicopter, and he's like, "DeSantis, you son of a bitch," and they you know,
they should have had a freaking cage fight, Zuckerberg and Elon Musk were supposed to have, but then Musk bitched out because he has a sore back or something.
Right,
and apparently the AI version of Mark Zuckerberg, he updated his AI to have abs and shit. Have you seen those pictures?
No.
He leveled up to ab Zuckerberg.
Wow.
So I think he scared off Tubby Musk.
You must have. Yeah, so, that's all it takes.
I don't know, but all I know is it's not happening as of right now, and I'm really upset because that would have been
trash talk. You would thought.
Yeah. How do you get how do you take that seriously, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, my back hurts, I can't do it, sorry. I mean, you just look like a little bitch in the situation.
It's true.
A little bitch compared to Mark Zuckerberg, no less. I mean,
that's not good.
That is like next level little bitch. So
right.
I mean, I feel like he's doing us a disservice. I don't know.
He needs to change his X to pussy.
Exactly. Derek says, oh my God, you both bring shame to Iowa by never being to the fair.
I know.
But in fairness, we bring shame to most things that we come in contact with. So,
and neither of us are native Iowans.
That's true too. So Derek also says, I just go for the people watching and all the food on a stick because fuck plates and silverware. Now I want to go try the fried butter on a stick.
I want to try that as well. Yes.
Nothing screams like degenerate eating fried butter on a stick.
There's a lot of good foods I've heard that are there that I want to try.
Yeah. That it's like fried anything.
Yeah, right. Or dipped in chocolate, deep fried.
Deep fried Twinkies.
Yes.
I mean, I don't like Twinkies, but a deep fried Twinkie, that sounds pretty amazing. Also in the news, apparently Maui is experiencing like some small wildfires and stuff, like little flare-ups here and there. So we might talk about that. And obviously, it's climate change,
of course,
or conspiracy theories. There's only those two options.
Laser weapons.
Laser weapons are definitely one of the main like culprits here.
It's funny how we go from it could be climate change or it could be lasers.
It's so true with like everything American these days. It's like, well, we've got, on one hand, we do have really bad climate change. On the other hand, we do have laser weapons, and it's only obviously one of those two options. And I think they tried
to sound less crazy by saying, what was it? Direct energy weapons. It's that's a fucking laser.
That is a laser. It's just a more like normie acceptable word for fucking lasers. So we're going to talk about that too. That's going to come in the second half. We're going to kind of touch on some of the election stuff. I wasn't ready for a full-blown election cycle. I mean, we're kind of getting into the freaking thick of it, but I'm just not ready for it yet.
Well, yeah. And a lot of it, and we'll get into this, but a lot of it is just the usual players. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it comes down, like, it basically is going to come down again to Donald Trump, who the Republican Party is like trying to stuff all these other candidates down people's throats, and all the diehard Republicans are like, no, we just fucking want Trump. And they're like, no, try Mike Pence or try DeSantis. He hates the gays. You hate the gays. He hates the gays. What about Mike Pence? He believes in the Constitution. What about and he's anti-abortion,
and he's deeply religious,
What about this random chick who happens to be like the first Indian American to run for president?
Nikki Haley, she ran last time.
Yeah, exactly. Or Chris Christie. I mean, he likes.
Why is he back?
He likes fried food on a stick. Clearly, you Iowans would like him.
It's funny because he's touted as the anti-Trump candidate, right? And it's like he was like on his knees for Trump in the last election.
He was eating all of Trump's all of Trump's leftovers. I mean, what is there anything likable about Chris Christie? Like, is there one likable quality about Chris Christie? There's so little likable about Donald Trump, but there's less likable about Chris Christie.
Because he's like a poor man's Trump.
He's meat sweats and all. I mean, he's just a disgusting human.
I actually liked Chris Christie when he was the governor of New Jersey, but until all of a sudden he was kissing Trump's ass. Well, he was taking on the unions, he was taking on the schools, and then all of a sudden he started bending over. And it's like, come on, man. And he was so close. He was so close.
Somebody that looks like a fat mafia boss take on the unions. How does that work?
Yeah. Well, maybe he was pretending to and getting some money on the side.
Probably. I don't know. But then on the other hand, we have on the Democrat side, they're just stuffing Joe Biden down their throats all the Democrats are like, can we literally have look at all the options the Republicans have, and they don't want options. Can we have any other options? And they have freaking Joe Biden. They have Kennedy.
Kennedy.
But he's going nowhere because
the left hates him.
Oh yeah. Because he doesn't like vaccines. And then there's
Marianne Williams.
Yeah, she's a guru.
Yeah, she's a new age writer.
A new age guru. And I mean, why not? I guess. Yeah. And maybe Michael Obama.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know.
It's funny because when I was looking up the candidates. President? Yeah, right. It's coming. When I was looking up the candidates, like I was looking on like mainstream and left wing sites, you know, and they paint Biden to look like the most successful president in history.
Based on what?
Passing the infrastructure bill.
What has that done though?
Like fighting Russia through Ukraine.
How's that going?
Lowering drug prices.
How's that going?
Yeah, right. Fighting off the coronavirus and lowering unemployment from 6.3% to 3.3%.
Sure.
Which is all just cooking the numbers.
Because the unemployment rate was so high because everything was fucking shut down when he took office. So obviously, I don't know. We'll get into some of that. Again, I'm not going to spend all episode. I didn't want to do a full blown episode because then the Maui shit came up and I was like, oh, there's a fire. And then you're like, have you seen the conspiracy theories on Maui? I was like, no, but I'm going to look into it. Now I'm going to look into it. Yes. So we got to talk about that because I mean, it's crazy town. So we got to even if you don't believe it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Too many coincidences.
Right? Yeah. We have to reside there for a bit because I'm fucking crazy. That's why.
So I guess a lot of the Republican candidates are going to be at the Cattle Congress in Waterloo.
Oh shit!
Here within the next month or so.
We gotta go.
I was thinking that as well.
To the cattle concert. Cattle what?
Congress.
Oh, I thought it was a concert. That would be better.
That would be even cooler, right?
That would be better. I mean, we heard a cattle concert out freaking camping this weekend. Yes. So yeah, we gotta go to the cattle concert. Derek says you can only collect unemployment for so long, and after that, they don't count you anymore.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
You just don't count. Well, it's kind of like the COVID numbers.
Exactly. Right.
It's like we just make up the rules. You've been unemployed so long. You don't even count as a employable citizen.
We're just phasing you out.
Yeah. You're just dead to us. So we're going to get right into this intro. Before we do, we got to obviously tell you to check us out all over social media because we're on social media. And that's really the only reason to check us out because we're there and we're freaking awesome. And you should enjoy us as much as we enjoy us.
Absolutely. I think they made social media for us.
They did. Obviously, that's why we have such high follower rates. You can find us on the X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Facebook at the handles at Break the Bell Pod. You can also find links to everything we do at breakthebellpod.com. You can find access to all our kick-ass merch, some t-shirts, some logo stuff, cups and shit. I don't even know it's there anymore. I need to go update stuff. It's just been a busy summer.
I know. It has been.
I mean, it's hard enough to get here on a Monday during the summer. So keeping shit up to date is really freaking hard. But we will get it. We'll get it back up to snuff at some point, or we won't. And I don't know. But check it out. BreakTheBellPod.com, social media, like, subscribe, share, all the fun, happy shit that the little kiddies are telling you to do because we're old. We don't know what to do. But I hear that if you like, share, and subscribe, I mean, that helps us out. So do that to help us out and help yourself out because we're freaking awesome. Absolutely. Like I said, gonna get into this intro video, and when we come back, we're talk about election stuff and wildfires and conspiracy theories, and who knows where this goes. I don't know. So maybe we'll find out together. We'll be right back.
What did you say?
You talking to me?
What the heck are you talking about?
What did you say?
What did you say?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What are you saying?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Well, maybe he was talking to me.
What did you say?
Talk to me.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
Talk to me, Talk to me, baby.
Did you just say?
What did you say?
You listen to me. Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Well. Election season's upon us.
Yes. I'm so excited.
I was going to say, we couldn't be more excited.
Yes.
I mean, it's been a long 4 years. It seems like forever ago since the last election cycle. Like, I barely remember the midterms. That's how much they're still slamming the former presidential election cycle still in our face now.
Yes.
Like,
and it's one of those things where you see the mainstream media and it's like you're either anti-Trump or you're for Trump is how they're painting pretty much every candidate.
I mean, yeah.
So it's like, well, he really criticizes Trump, or he really has not come out and said anything against Trump.
They would have done themselves a favor by just allowing Trump another 4 years back to back, so we didn't have gone. Then we didn't have to go through a third election cycle with Trump.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, Trump has all his more legal woes coming up. They're trying to indict him. I think this is the fourth indictment in the last 6 months.
Have they tried pinning the Kennedy assassination on him yet?
No, not yet.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, we'll see when that happens. I'm sure he has some partial blame for that somewhere.
You know it.
We're getting closer to what the people want, which is another Trump-Biden rematch.
Ugh.
I mean, what would you prefer, though? A Trump-Biden rematch or a Trump-Hillary rematch?
I guess Trump-Biden.
At least we don't really have to listen to Biden during a Trump-Biden rematch.
That's true.
We at least can laugh at his mumbling and bumbling and all his mishaps. At least there's comical relief there.
Right.
With Hillary, it's just like nails on a chalkboard every time she gets up.
Right. And she tries pandering to some population. Yes, I actually keep hot sauce with me for all that white people food.
Jesus Christ. Oh, don't remind me. I'm surprised we haven't seen an attempted Hillary comeback. I thought it was coming, but is she just past her prime? Have they just come to that realization?
Past her prime.
Well, I understand that, but have they? I think they finally come to the realization.
I think they seriously, after Trump beat her, they just were like, you know what? She can't win shit.
She's just not winnable.
So let's go back to Biden. Let's see what he can do.
I don't know. I mean, Biden, I guess, is the perfect puppet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, he's literally like a marionette doll sitting up there.
Yes. Everybody pulls his strings, including his son.
The biggest problem is just keeping his skin in place.
Yeah, right.
For the next 4 years while they pull his strings.
Yeah, he's gonna be 82.
Jesus.
I mean, that's insane.
How many facelifts can that guy get before they give up on him?
Well, it depends on who's actually getting the facelifts.
I guess. So, like I was saying, Trump, would you say he's clearly what Republicans want? Like the majority of them, at least?
No, I don't.
You don't think so. You really don't think? I mean, you drive through Iowa, you still see Trump flags everywhere. You still see fuck Joe Biden flags everywhere.
But I think Biden is just so bad. And I think that they really play it up to this narrative that the deep state is scared of Trump because you see them throwing all these trumped up charges on him. So, I mean, it just lends itself to that narrative that, he's dangerous to them. They don't want him there. So, we want him.
But like I said, they're cramming all these other candidates. Yes. I mean, you sent me a list. There's probably 15 other Republican candidates down to weird ass names I've never even heard before. I'm like, why are you even trying at this point? Especially if Trump's up. Trump's in the running at all. Why are you trying down here?
Right.
Like if it was going against DeSantis and Pence, then throw in some random nobody.
Yeah. What's interesting is a couple of these guys are like billionaires that have never held political office.
Like Trump?
Yeah, right. Right, exactly. So Trump kind of opened the door for him.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got one guy who all he's done is mayor of Miami.
Of Miami?
That's it.
So he ran like a freaking retirement home for a while?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, he might get like the Hispanic vote.
But I think that's kind of what he's hoping for.
But can you run as the mayor of Miami? So you're coming from the Miami area as a Republican. Are you going to beat even DeSantis, though?
Right.
At that point?
Yeah. I couldn't DeSantis just order you to stay home?
Right. It's like, dude, just you're not going.
Yeah.
Like, I own
need to watch your city.
Yes. And then again, you got Biden, who he's Biden. He's Joe fucking Biden. He's old as shit. And nobody, not even Joe Biden wants Joe Biden to be president.
It's true.
So like it's just come to this again, but it's so much worse this time because we were so fed up with it last time. We're just like, how has it come to the only two candidates are Donald Trump and Joe Biden? How has it come to this? That was 4 years ago. And now
we're here.
We're fast forwarding 4 years later. It's just like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Like we're back.
Yeah. It's not. How have we not made progress in the last 4 years?
It's not like some like UFC rematch where everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I want to see Conor McGregor stomp his face or something."
For this
like,
rematch,
redemption. No, this is just like, Jesus,
again,
another rerun.
Yeah.
So Trump obviously, as Trump does, continues his epic trollery.
Yes.
As we had mentioned with DeSantis at the Iowa State Fair. So I wanted to look into that first because it's kind of, and it's really funny because the Washington Post is really, this better let me read. It looks like it's going to. The Washington Post is really propping up DeSantis in this, which is hilarious because the Washington Post is a left-leaning organization, but anything but Trump is what they're going for, like you were saying. And it's like, well, Joe Biden probably doesn't have a chance to really beat Trump a second time, but it would be great to see him go against somebody that has no shot in hell like DeSantis. So let me pull this one up. This is titled "Trump Swoops into Iowa State Fair, Defying Customs and Clashing with DeSantis." What is going on? Go away. Again, since when does Donald Trump not defy customs?
Right. Yeah.
Like his entire presidency was in defiance of customs. He's like, it's customary for me to swear in on the Bible. I'm not going to do that because I'm Donald J. Trump. I'm going to swear in on my book, which is The Art of the Deal, because that book, I mean, the Bible's a good book. It's great for it's one of the best books, but it's not quite up there on par with The Art of the Deal. So I'm going to swear in on The Art of the Deal.
Trump ran his campaign like a professional wrestler.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's going to be about the same this time, I'm sure. So this says pork chops, protesters, and the Florida governor of pork chops, protesters of the Florida governor, and a swift visit by the former president were at the center of a high drama day. Now, it's a slow day in the news when this is considered a high drama day for the Washington Post. The Iowa State Fair. In Des Moines, the crowd that had craned to watch Florida Governor Ron DeSantis flip pork chops and with Iowa's governor suddenly looked towards the sky. Donald Trump's plane was arriving. They clapped and cheered. "We love Trump." Some of them had chanted earlier. So
wait, they literally saw his plane coming in and they're all like, "Trump!"
According to the Washington Post, yes. They're just like, this is something you would see in a bad movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a bad TV show. It's like, I don't know of any airports at the fairgrounds that
No, it's
are
on the opposite
accommodating
side of the
for his.
city.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. And the Des Moines airport is nowhere near the fairgrounds. It's on the south side, not the northeast side.
Where
so
they look like, look, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Trump. Yes, that's thunder. It looked like a tornado when I was coming
holy
in.
fuck! I didn't even know it was supposed to storm
I
today.
didn't either.
I thought my house was falling for a second. Side note: we had a massive, like, short storm, but it was like crazy, like 4 a.m. on Friday morning.
Oh, that's right. I slept right.
I don't know how you did, because that scared the shit out of me. I've never like jumped out of bed because of thunder before, and I did. I like jumped up. I was like, "Holy fuck!" And then I woke the rest of the house up. They were like, "Oh, I didn't even hear it," but I woke up for some reason. Oh, that was probably me yelling that woke you up. Anyways, what were we?
Yeah, Trump's plane came in. Everybody was excited. They
he probably circled over the fair,
parachuted out.
Yes, he parachuted down, and fireworks were going off around him, and
he pulled it. And
eagles were flying through the air,
clearing the air for him.
Yes, and he landed right in the middle of the cattle concert.
Superhero landing.
Yes, obviously. I mean, that's the way. And everybody cheering, "We love Trump." Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, this says the crowd craned to watch Desantis, but then also we're cheering, "We love Trump." So
yeah, fickle crowd.
I guess. It says when Trump got to the pork tent midday, only in Iowa.
I was going to say there's probably like half a dozen pork tents at the fair in Iowa.
It's true. With DeSantis's camp far away and resting in the shade, he didn't partake in the actual grilling and brought an entourage of supportive lawmakers from DeSantis's home state. Now that's a dick move there.
That is.
He rounds up like, "Hey, I need you from Florida. Oh, you're from Florida. Yeah. You like me. I need all my Florida buddies to come here." That's a big fuck you to Ron DeSantis. It's just so funny. Like, the fickleness of all of this, the pettiness, like, he didn't even flip pork chops.
Yeah, right.
How can we expect this man
to run a
country if he won't even stoop as far as to flip pork chops at the Iowa State Fair?
To be fair, I think that should be a standard to run for president, is that you can run a grill.
I mean, yeah, it's true.
Yes,
that's true. That's why Mark Zuckerberg will never be president, or he will. Maybe that's when he was like cooking his meats. Remember when he was cooking his fine meats? Yeah. Maybe that he was working on his presidential pose, I guess. I don't know. When Trump got to the pork tent midday with DeSantis' camp far away resting in the shade, he didn't partake in actual grilling and brought the entourage of supportive lawmakers from DeSantis' home state. They posed for selfies and passed out "Make America Great Again" hats to a crowd that clogged the fair's grand concourse. And rather than linger all day to court voters, Trump was gone before 2 p.m. How dare him? How dare him not like ogle at the fine butter sculptures and partake in the pig judging and
it's like he just showed up to show up DeSantis and that's it.
It's like he just showed up to campaign.
Yeah, maybe
he didn't show up to like, I don't know, like put on a show like DeSantis. I mean, he was there to put on a show, but DeSantis is being political. He's like partaking in all the festivities and stuff. But it's all just a fucking show.
It is.
Do you think DeSantis wants to flip pork chops for fucking Iowans?
Or, rate pigs
or butter sculptures? No, he's just doing it because nobody knows Ron DeSantis.
And the Hawkeye cockeye is still the first leg.
The Hawkeye cockeye?
Yeah, that's you didn't go to the cockeye caucus.
Oh, caucus.
Yes.
It's like, what the fuck is a cockeye?
Yes, it's the caucus, but they call it the Hawkeye cockeye.
Oh, gotcha. So. I gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, the Iowa caucus is still number one, even though they're trying to.
They fight pretty hard for that.
Yeah. So it says, rather than linger all day to court voters, Trump was gone before 2 p.m. The high drama day at the fair perfectly captured the way that the former president has flouted many traditions of campaigning while still dominating the GOP presidential race.
Wait, what part of that goes against tradition?
They probably come out and like schmooze the people and rate the butter sculptures and stuff. To be like, we're one of you guys.
Yeah,
we're real people too. We like butter sculptures too. And Donald Trump's like, And whatever, I'm here.
Butter sucks.
Hey guys, I'm here.
I'm pretty sure he did
like
the same
margarine.
thing last time, though.
I don't know that he even showed up last time. Did he show up last time?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's like, I
know
margarine.
he didn't show up for the caucus. He sent Ivanka for the.
Yeah. It says, still dominating the GOP presidential race, relentlessly commanding attention and also seizing any opportunity to needle his top rival, DeSantis. Trump supporters at the fair, a must-stop event for Republican White House hopefuls, passed out pamphlets bashing DeSantis's record on agriculture. And what's Trump's record on agriculture?
I was going to say, has he done a lot?
And a mysterious plane circled over DeSantis's Fairside chat with the taunting message echoing criticism that DeSantis is too stiff. Be likable, Ron. The Trump campaign paid for the banner, according to a person familiar with the situation. So a plane, a little like prop plane, flying around DeSantis's little Fairside chat with a banner that says, be likable, Ron. First of all, whoever came up with that, genius marketing strategy there. I mean,
yeah, I kind of feel like he needed to kind of work on that slogan a little.
Right. DeSantis, in turn, told reporters that Trump's tactics on Iowa's popular Republican governor, Kim Reynolds, were totally out of bounds. I don't know. What happened with him and Kim Reynolds?
Basically, he said that he was responsible for Kim getting elected.
Oh, gotcha.
So
that's totally out of bounds.
Yeah.
DeSantis and other presidential hopefuls embraced all the customs of face-to-face campaigning in the first-in-the-nation GOP caucus state. The Florida governor, who was there before Trump arrived and after he left, brought his wife and 3 kids to the Ferris wheel, the Magic Maze slide, and a fair game where his son, Mason, walked away with a stuffed Pikachu.
I'm guessing that was fixed.
Yeah, right? Nobody wins those fucking games.
Right?
And all of a sudden, just happens to be Ron DeSantis' son.
It's a Pokemon.
Yeah, that's bullshit. He sat for Q&A with Reynolds, trying his best to ignore the handful of apparently liberal protesters who made a ruckus for 10 minutes straight. Those ruckus-making protesters, until law enforcement physically removed them. Trump, in contrast, blew off Reynolds' Fairside chat with candidates and showed off his star power. An echo of his first run in 2015 when he arrived at the fair by helicopter. There you go. And bragged about the size of his crowds. My crowds are so much bigger than your crowds. Well, it's not how you use the crowds, or it's not the size of the crowds, it's how you use the crowds.
Sounds like he's compensating.
It wasn't clear that many voters here would hold it against him. We don't need that traditional candidate, said Iowan Jason Bruce, who sometimes wishes for a more professional candidate, but said former president with his bulldog attitude remains his top choice.
See, and so he did the same thing last time. So why is this?
Why is everybody acting shocked?
I know. It's like
he just comes in, rolls over the competition, and he's like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm running for president. Vote for me." And they're like, "Wow, I like his attitude.
Right? Yeah,
I really like his stuff.
Exactly."
And then he comes in this time. He's like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm running for president again." They're like, "What? What?
You still got it?"
And the post is like, what's going on here? This guy just like rolls in here and doesn't participate in the fair time shenanigans, and he expects to be president again.
Yeah. Now, and I could expect this if it was the what's the Des Moines whatever it is. Like if they were coming and be like, "Wow, we're really offended that he came to the fair and didn't want to participate," but instead you got the Washington Post, who's never been to the fair themselves. That is acting offended.
Yeah, whoever got put on the story was like, "Wait, there's a fair in Iowa?
Is that the one with the potatoes?"
He's not alone. Polls show Trump far ahead of DeSantis. Blah 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 blah. I don't need to see all this shit.
Yeah.
So what do you think of his tactics at the fair?
I mean, it's Trump. You know, I mean, it's show up. You know, it's you're the star. Everybody else should be kissing your ass. And you do what you came to, and then you don't need to stay.
Now, I understand somebody like DeSantis going in and hanging out and carving butter and braiding the cows and flipping pork chops and stuff, because nobody fucking knows who you are. Like
exactly.
This next paragraph is like, watching DeSantis at the pork tent Saturday, Marie Todd, not Mary Todd, not Lincoln, was charmed by the governor's procession around the fair with his family. My husband said he's the one carrying the little kid on his shoulders, and I love that. Now, they're focusing on the fact that he's carrying around this kid for a photo op.
Probably not his kid.
Which is kind of creepy. The point I take away is she had no fucking clue who he was until her husband's like, "Oh, I think it's that guy with the kid on his shoulder."
Right. I think that's DeSantis.
So he needs that.
Yes.
Trump doesn't need to do that.
Everybody already knows who he is.
Right.
They see the hair flapping in the wind and they're like, "That's Trump."
They could see it from the plane. So he doesn't have to carry a little kid on his shoulders. His tiny hands probably couldn't pick him up anyway.
Right.
He just rolls in and he's like, "I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message." And they're like, "I don't know what message it is, but I like it." And he's like, "I'm out, bitches." And they're like,
yeah,
that guy right there.
He still got it.
And DeSantis was like, "Look, I got a kid on my shoulders." Like, did you see Trump? He just like, he's like Batman. He just like appeared and then
he's gone when he
just
turned
gone.
around.
So I don't know what, like, I don't see drama that they are like. They're like, "Oh, there's all this freaking drama." It's just like they showed up and they left.
But you're exactly right.
Things.
Is that the other candidates need to appeal to? They need to show people who they are. Right? They have to show them in real world settings with their sleeve rolled up, throwing the baseball to hit the bottles, you know, to win the Pikachu. That they need that, where Trump doesn't need that. Trump can show up, piss in the gold crusted porta-john, which actually was a butter sculpture that he didn't know about.
I was gonna say he could literally piss on a butter sculpture, and
everybody
be like, "Can I buy that?
Yeah,
the butter sculpture?"
Right. It was probably a butter sculpture of Biden.
Oh God. So Iowan John Lamberto, who is 64, supports Trump, and said Trump's overlap with DeSantis at the fair was brilliant, and I agree.
It is. Yeah.
Like, don't be the first to show up. Show up fashionably late and be like, "All right, I'm gonna interrupt all of y'all." And DeSantis is up there like, "We hate the gays," and everybody's like, and Donald Trump's like, "Hey guys, I'm over here," and they're like, "Wait, who's Donald Trump's here?" And everybody, he's like, "Come back, I still hate the gays."
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's like, "Look to see what I'm going to do with Disney World this time."
And then poof, Trump's gone, and he's like, "No,"
and everybody's like, "Oh man, where's Trump? Where's Trump?" And then DeSantis is trying to talk, and they're like, "Man, I wish Trump was still here."
"Hey, you guys want to go get a funnel cake?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it works. It works for him.
Yes.
Not saying I support him, but on a marketing level, like I go back to marketing levels a lot because I took marketing, I guess, a couple of years ago. And so like from a marketing perspective,
it's smart.
It's a smart move. Like who fucking cares from there?
Right.
Like the Trump supporters there didn't care that DeSantis was there, didn't care that Trump showed up late, didn't even care that Trump left early. They're just like, well, Trump was here. That's like the highlight of the fair is Donald Trump is here.
And if you look at the news reports, nobody's saying, "Hey, you know, DeSantis had a great showing with the kid on his shoulders." They're all like, "Holy fuck, did you see what Trump did?"
Trump trolled DeSantis.
Yeah,
and
with the plane.
And that's the headlines. It's not Trump. Well, the Washington Post tries to play it off. Well, Trump just looked like an asshole because he didn't put kids on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But
the Washington Post doesn't like Trump anyways. Anybody who had any kind of fondness for Trump would be like, "Holy shit, that was awesome."
Now, the funny things were the people that were there trolling DeSantis, like the anti-DeSantis people.
Sure.
This says the snags didn't end here. His mic cut out for about a minute towards the end of his. Oh, let me go back up.
Okay.
Because he's talking. He had a speech thing. And people were heckling him. Okay. And last time people heckled him, he like didn't even get to finish the speech because they just heckled so hard. So he tries again. He says, "It's great to be here. We appreciate how nice everybody is." I mean, that's campaign slogan, right? That's a winning slogan.
Right.
I like how nice people are. DeSantis said over the cacophony, as the cameras pivoted to the protesters now shaking a cowbell in the face of a man trying to confront them. The noise kept up until law enforcement forcibly pulled them back past the portable toilets, prompting cheers in the audience, all as DeSantis went on like nothing was happening. The snags didn't end here. His mic cut out for about a minute towards the end, and the governor met some hostility later in the day as a handful of critics yelled, "We say gay," and "Gay, gay."
It's a good thing they got that cleared up.
Apparently in response to the DeSantis administration's polarizing school policies, which prohibit classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in public schools through high school, with limited exceptions. I'm glad they cleared that up for us, but I think it's hilarious.
It is.
I mean, the biggest thing we have DeSantis gets out of this is people chanting, "We say gay," and then Donald Trump interrupting him. That's like they're trying to prompt him or prop him up, but that's like the highlight of his time there is, well, I was flipping pork chops and Donald Trump showed up and some guy yelled gay in my face.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Great. You're going to be president, obviously. So do you see DeSantis as having any hope in this unless like Donald Trump potentially goes away for a little while?
Yeah, I mean, if Trump goes away, yeah, sure. I mean, it's fun because I was gonna say, you know, I'm interested to see how the debates go, but we all remember how the debates went with Trump the last time,
right?
Where he just kind of stood there with his stupid ass smile and took shots at everybody, and everybody cheered and laughed and whatever, you know. So I mean, it's not actually ever a debate.
No, and it's not going to be anything. No. It's just going to be a pissing contest.
No, and it's like, you know, you don't get to actually hear any plans, anything, you know, to do because
they don't have plans.
Well, exactly. It's like, well, if you vote for me, you'll see what a great plan I have.
It's a big plan. It's a great plan, and you should see this plan. And my critics or my advisors say that this is the best plan that they've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, it's the bigliest plan that they've ever seen. And vote for me, and you can see this bigly plan. And then you have else that's like, well, I'm not Donald Trump.
Right.
And that's what even the Republicans think that's going to be the win.
And that's apparently Chris Christie's big strategy is that he's not Donald Trump.
Right.
And Ryan Pence's strategy. Mike Pence is, what did I say?
Ryan.
Oh, because I know of Ryan. Anyways, Mike Pence is going to be like, well, I'm not Donald Trump. And yes, I did support him, but I don't totally reject him.
Well, he's kind of come out against Trump lately. Like, he's now claiming that Trump told him, like his, I guess, campaign shot in the dark is that Donald Trump told him to like bypass the Constitution.
Does that surprise you though?
No, I mean, Pence is kind of like since January 6th.
Yeah.
Since January 7th, he turned into like a big bitch.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Donald Trump was right or wrong. I'm saying Mike Pence turned into a bitch, and everything's just like as soon as the writing was on the wall, he's like, "Well, I'm not with him."
Right? Yeah, I don't even know him really.
So this is his article about this. It says, "President Trump asked me to put him over my oath to the Constitution," and this is from MotherJones.com.
Okay.
It says, "Let me see if why is this not popping up?" There we go. Donald Trump is going after his former vice president and fellow 2024 presidential contender, Mike Pence. On Saturday, the embattled frontrunner took to Truth Social to attack his former ally. Wow. It's finally happened. Little Mike Pence, a man who is about to be ousted as governor of Indiana until I came along and made him VP, has gone back to the dark side. I never told a newly emboldened, not based on his 2% poll numbers, Pence to put me above the Constitution, or that Mike was too honest. He's delusional, and now he wants to show he's the tough guy. Wow. The latest round of attacks follow false claims by Trump earlier this week, suggesting that the vice president had power that Mike didn't understand to reject the electoral votes in 2020 presidential election. I feel badly for Mike Pence, who is attracting no crowds, enthusiasms, or loyalty from people who, as a member of the Trump administration, should be loving him. Trump wrote Wednesday, he didn't fight against election fraud, he said. Just the day before, Trump had been indicted for attempting to subvert the election on charges of defrauding the United States. Well, that's serious.
Yeah.
Obstructing an official government proceeding and depriving people of civil rights provided by federal law or the Constitution.
What?
Yeah, this is getting, I mean, they're just throwing everything at it now. It's like, now they're like, he's like depriving civil rights. He's depriving constitutional rights, defrauding the United States. Like, they're just throwing it all. It's going to be like treason soon. And like,
well, he jaywalked in 88. I saw it. It was him.
The federal indictment mentions a January 1st, 2021 call, which Trump allegedly called Pence too honest over his objection to reject contested electoral votes during the certification process. Today's indictment serves as an important reminder. Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States, Pence said in a statement at the time. Trying to capitalize on Pence's prominent role in the indictment, the former vice president's campaign has started selling merchandise featuring the too honest phrase. And that it's not going to go like, give up, man. Like, the only people who would ever vote for Mike Pence would be if he had stuck by Trump's side and Trump was no longer in the picture. Then Trump supporters would be like, oh, remember Mike Pence? He was his VP.
Yeah, he stood by him.
He's not charismatic enough to be the anti-Trump guy.
He has slightly less charisma than Al Gore.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
Pence's escalating condemnation of Trump's big lie doesn't seem to be earning him any points with the former president's support. That's because he didn't come out with this until he decided, you know what, I have a shot at president too. So obviously I am going to say, well, Trump's a liar, so don't vote for him, vote for me, because I was the honest Abe in all of this. It says some of who called him a traitor and a sellout outside a campaign event in New Hampshire this week. I would say 100% he's a traitor and a sellout to the Trump people, not to me.
Yes.
I don't fucking care.
Right.
But like, he had nothing really to say.
Right.
He wasn't public. Like, he didn't publicly denounce anything that Trump did until after the fact, and then later after the fact, and then decided, you know what, I need to distance myself from this guy.
This is an angle I can use.
Absolute sellout.
Yeah.
Because Mike Pence wouldn't have been anything if it wasn't for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Nobody would have a fucking clue. Did you know Mike Pence, of all people, was a talk radio host at one point?
Oh, my.
Could you imagine listening to that?
That sounds worse than Alec Baldwin.
President Trump was wrong then and is wrong now, Pence told Dana Bash on CNN's State of the Union. I had no right to overturn the election. The American people deserve to know that President Trump asked me to put my oath over the Constitution, but I kept my oath and I always will. Now, the one thing Mike Pence cuts, or he's trying to get people to forget, is he did ask the question, because this whole thing about putting him over the Constitution was regarding the rejecting the electoral votes. Remember that?
Yeah.
We talked about it on January 5th, and we're like, these are the options that they have.
Yeah, they had one pathway to make it happen.
Like, reject the electoral votes, send up other delegates or something like that. And that was their option. And then J6 happened and it all just went out the fucking window. Right. Now, one thing that he's trying to get people to forget is he's one of the ones that posed the question: is there a chance that people could send up other electoral voters or whatever, or whatever they're called, electorates?
Yeah, electorates.
And some people aren't forgetting that. They're like, remember the time you keep saying this, but remember the time you asked the question?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, actually, that's not what was going on. I just heard rumors that they were, and I was simply asking, are they sending up? Like, he's trying to cover up, because he was trying to go. It says the sexual tension between you two is real. Just kiss and spoon feed each other mayonnaise already. Mike Marcello. I don't know what that means. Is there
mayonnaise does sound good.
Mayonnaise does sound good, but
yes,
I mean we've dealt with our sexual tension between each other
a
long time ago.
Yeah.
We've been doing this show for 3 fucking years. I mean,
you missed that episode. Go back and find it. It's
you
good
are
one.
way behind the curve. Pence. So this article says Pence says he doesn't recall whether White House filled him in on the fake election plot.
Yes.
This next article. So Mike Pence is coming out now because they're like, remember that time you said that? He's like, well, I did ask the question, but that's because I was hearing rumors. And they're like, but didn't the White House tell you that this was the plan?
Right.
I mean, we knew about the plan before January 6th. And he's like, well, I don't remember if that ever happened.
Yeah.
I want to smell you both after you jog. Who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know, but that's extra, man. You got to be a patron.
If you guys are coming to Leapfrog competition tonight, remember you can only wear swim goggles and tube socks.
Well,
I don't know what's happening. This is way more exciting than Mike Pence.
Yeah, right.
Way more exciting, and
maybe
I will
Mike
let you
Pence
smell me after
Leapfrog.
you. Oh, Mike Marcello, I will let you smell me after I jog, but you got to get me to jog first.
Well, you should subscribe.
Yes, that's on our that's our Patreon program.
That's our gold membership.
The post jog smelling membership. So I don't know. I feel like everything.
He's trying to stay down the middle, and
he is,
and he can't do that.
And you can't say things like, well, I don't remember if I heard this. You either deny it or you well, that never happened. They didn't fill me on. You to come out and say I don't recall,
right?
As a politician,
they used that in the 80s. Ollie North kind of beat that to shit. You can't go back.
Freaking Bill Clinton.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the Bill Clinton era.
I don't recollect that, Senator.
Yes. So I don't know. Mike Pence got a shot in the dark against Donald Trump.
No, not even close. I bet he's out before the Hawkeye cockeye.
Who do you think has a better, if it came down to DeSantis and Mike Pence, who do you think has a better shot?
DeSantis.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard people talk about DeSantis, people that, that follow the news, follow the election cycles, and they're excited by him.
Oh. By DeSantis?
Yes.
Excited. Like they use the word excited.
Yes.
I mean, they're only excited because he ruffles feathers with Disney and shit like that.
Right.
And with the whole don't say gay stuff.
But I feel like they also think, I mean, he's a viable candidate because of, the way he's ran Florida. But unfortunately, again, Trump kind of trumps that.
Trump trumps
everything.
Let's move to the other side quickly. About over the election stuff already, but we got to talk about Biden. Oh, hi. I don't want that at all.
Real quick, what is your thoughts on? There's the gentleman from the billionaire. What Schwami was his last name?
I don't know.
Okay, so he was a Michigan millionaire.
Okay.
Or billionaire.
I was going to say millionaire's not much these days.
Hedge fund guy. Yeah.
What are my thoughts on that?
Yes.
He's probably a fucking crook.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, he's probably like
your stereotypical corporate Republican.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like hedge funder. Like, I mean, there's not much more to say there.
Right,
like hedge funder isn't going to go too far. I'd rather have a real estate mogul over a hedge funder because I don't know.
Yeah.
It no interest there whatsoever. Okay. So there's this major Biden prop-up effort going on.
Of course.
I got this. Apparently it's a video. I thought it was an article, but just the headline says it all. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to play a leading role in the Biden-Harris re-election campaign. How does that make you feel?
I think makes me very excited.
Yeah. We're going to be seeing more of Kamala Harris.
I'm really surprised.
She's playing a leading role.
I thought that maybe they would try to shuffle.
I did too. It says in a new memo, the Biden-Harris campaign is highlighting how Vice President Kamala Harris will spend her time on the campaign trail. CNBC reports the vice president will be strategically deployed to shore up support for Biden among constituents that make up the core of the Biden-Harris coalition. That's says nothing.
Yeah, I know. Maybe they're going to stick her in San Francisco.
That is, I mean, that's a lot of like a lot of words to say we haven't figured out where to put Kamala Harris. It's kind of like her entire vice presidency.
Right, yeah.
But MSNBC is playing it off as, oh, she's going to be playing a key role. And they're just like, we're going to strategically place her where it makes sense.
Out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
she has no fans. I mean, seriously, nobody likes her.
Strategically deployed to shore up support for Biden among constituents. Isn't that like the entire campaign is strategically deploying to gain support from constituents?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like that's not saying
that's what
anything.
vice presidents do.
Including young people, people of color, and women. MSNBC political analyst Julian Castro joined American Voices with Alicia Menendez to discuss Harris's growing role heading into 2024. So we have a growing role to look forward to by
I'm sure
Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
So how does that make you how does that lift your hopes for the 2024 election cycle?
Yeah, they're probably gonna send her to some college campuses to speak, and then they'll put some like fluff piece on about how she's inspiring women.
Oh yeah, and
lifting up the female vote, right?
Derek Ambrose says Harris will play the same role in the re-election as she did in the role dealing with the border.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although I would like to see her debate whoever Trump's vice presidential pick is going to be.
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Do you got any contenders? Any thoughts? You think he'll go more traditional like Pence again, or you think he's
I think
be like,
he has to go traditional.
You would think. I don't think he has to now. I think he had to then
jump that
to pull in like the evangelical, like conservative. Now I think
they're
has
sold,
it. And so he could.
He's going to grab Carrot Top.
I don't think he's going to pull in somebody that's going to tell him no or be like, you're kind of a dickhead.
Yeah.
No, he's going to. Well, he's going to pull in somebody that.
Nikki Haley.
You think so?
Nikki Haley. I'm calling it.
Maybe. I don't know. Does he still like Nikki Haley?
I don't. She hasn't said anything bad against him. So, and she was she was his ambassador to the UN.
Oh, okay. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. On top of Harris's increasing role in this election. Now, none of them are talking about like Biden's role in his own campaign.
Right.
On top of this, Barack Obama is his role is taking shape for this re-election cycle.
Yeah. Well, because he's the one
running for office.
Yeah, I was going to say
he's the one that ran in 2015 for him while Joe hit. Or not 2015, 2019, 2020 when Joe was hiding in the basement.
Right.
So it only makes sense that he does it again. This is from the Washington Examiner. It says Barack Obama's role in Joe Biden's 2024 re-election bid takes shape. Let me guess. He's going to be strategically placed in a role to garner support.
He'll be the one debating everybody.
Oh, you know it. Former President Barack Obama's developing role in President Joe Biden's 24 re-election effort was highlighted in a new tweet from second gentleman Doug Emhoff on Sunday. So at least like even Doug knows that Obama's going to do more for this re-election than his own wife.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're like highlighting like everything he's going to be doing. And for Kamala, they're like, she's going to do stuff and things.
Yeah. Right.
So this is hilarious. Now, if you're going to try to like raise funds and also raise support for Joe Biden, wouldn't you think you'd sell tickets to meet Joe Biden?
Right. Yeah.
But
no, nobody.
No, listen to this. This is from Doug. Do you want to meet Presidents Joe Biden and Barack Obama? Chip in whatever you can to support Joe and Kamala's campaign, and you'll be automatically entered for a chance to win. The tweet directed viewers to a landing page from Act Blue, which we know is a big crock of shit.
Yes.
From the Biden Victory Fund, the president's joint fundraising committee. According to the fund's page, by donating, people have the chance to win a trip to meet Obama and Biden. I like how they put that first.
Yeah, right.
Like, do you want to meet Joe Biden? Well, not really. Well, what about Barack Obama, too?
Damn, can I see Obama? Well, yeah, but Biden will be there, too, but Obama's going to be there for sure.
This is hilarious. A chance to win a trip to meet Obama and Biden, who once served as Obama's vice president.
Wow.
Wait a second, line him again. The travel and hotel stay will be covered, and the winner will get to meet both men. Memorializing. Good God, that's a hard word to say. Memorializing it with a photo. And then here's this hip photo of Obama and Biden giving a high five.
Oh my gosh.
Obama reportedly promised to do everything in his power to boost Biden to re-election during a lunch meeting at the White House in June. During the meeting, he also allegedly warned Biden of former President Donald Trump's political prowess and stranglehold on the Republican Party. Like, Biden isn't like watching this.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you're not the former last president. Like, you need to be aware of this. Like, some things to look out for. Like, Biden has been seeing, you'd think he'd be seeing Trump's prowess for the last 4 years.
Right. Yeah.
Or the entire time he was president. And they're like, he's like, Joe, I just want to warn you. I know you're trying to be president, and just a forewarning, Trump has prowess. And he's like that's a big nothing statement there. In a statement to the Washington Post, senior advisor Eric Schultz said, "We place a huge emphasis on finding creative ways to reach new audiences, especially tools that can be directly tied to voter mobilization or volunteer activations. We are deliberate in picking our moments because our objective is to move the needle." As Biden enlists the help of prominent Democrats across the country, the help of Obama is likely the most beneficial. Obama, who survived his own re-election in 2012, is the most famous former president, according to 2023. Our 2023 survey
there's
from YouGov.
2 of them.
Yes.
That are left alive. 3, I guess, Bill Clinton. But he's hiding out.
Yeah, because Jimmy Carter finally died.
Oh, no,
right?
Jimmy Carter's still alive.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn, I forgot. He is still kicking around.
He is also the 8th most popular, behind only former presidents Dwight D. Eisenhower, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, George Washington, JFK, and Abraham Lincoln is the most popular.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought Ronald Reagan would be before Obama.
Obama is also the most popular politician in the country per YouGov second quarter rankings. Biden's vice president Kamala Harris is 6th on the list.
Bullshit.
And the current president himself is 11th.
Okay, I believe that.
There's no way you're going to tell me that Kamala Harris is number 6 for most popular politicians in the country.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
Derek says, each ticket to see Joe comes with a free ticket for a child, of which he promises to smell. Yes, indeed. So I don't know. Well, like, what do you think of this election cycle so far?
I mean, it looks like the last one. So,
you have Trump being Trump.
Yeah.
You have
Obama being Obama.
Well, I was going to say you have Obama running Biden's campaign,
which he has to. I mean, Biden, the most electrifying man in politics today,
number 11,
right?
In the
who got the voted by the highest percentage
80
ever.
Million.
80 million, yes, but he's number 11,
and he's number 11. Got 80 million. Has to rely on number 6 Kamala Harris and number 1 Barack Obama to pull in the votes.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's no wonder they're working so hard to indict Trump.
Yes. Oh, they have to.
Because number 11, that says it all.
Yes.
And Trump probably doesn't even get on that list because he's probably disqualified because of indictment. So we can't put him on there because he's under criminal investigations. So I don't know. I'm over it already, and it just begun. It's not even 2024 yet, and I'm over it.
With all the song and dance that's going on, you still know it's going to come down to Biden and Trump.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, it still is, unless something major happens, like Trump is sent to prison and can't run.
He would still probably run.
He would still run. Trump or Biden dies, right?
What do you think of the Hunter Biden stuff? Do you think that has any
No,
way down
because nobody's paying attention to it.
No, probably not.
It's not getting reported on enough.
The only way it has anything to do with anything is if they want to use that to get rid of Biden and be like, you're a liability and we want to get rid of you. Because if they didn't want to get rid of him, it wouldn't fucking matter.
Well, there was an article I read, and they talked about, first of all, they come out and they talk about Trump's bloody insurrectionist plot, right, on J6. Jesus. And then they come out and they talk about Biden might be weighed down by his son trying to use his father's influence for business.
And they're like, which is nowhere near the scope of horrendousness as January 6th.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, so that's how they're painting it.
I've read a couple of those. It's like both candidates, blah, 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 because Republicans keep comparing Joe Biden's to the horrendous actions of Donald Trump. Yes.
Of J6.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, do you got anything else on these, or do we want to move to Maui?
No, like I said, I mean,
I'd rather move to Maui right now.
We'll move to that dumpster fire and get away from this one.
I would literally rather move to Maui right now than go through another 2024 election cycle. So
it would have been so much nicer if Biden and Trump just disappeared and let new people come in and duke it out.
Yes. We are going to go to break. We're going to relieve our sexual tension between each other. And then when we come back, if you're just joining in, that was weird. That was really weird. But if you've been here a while, it's still probably weird too. So,
you have to be a Patreon member if you want to see that.
Exactly. We're going to go take a break. And when we come back, we're going to shift courses to this wildfire shit that's going on, or was going on, or went on. I don't know.
It's still going on.
In Maui. And we'll obviously dive into the conspiracy theory aspect of it, even though Snopes and PolitiFact and Meta all said all these conspiracy theories are false and baseless. Obviously, we got to mention them. So we're going to talk about some Maui shit here when we come back. We're getting away from the politics, so don't worry. I didn't feel we hung on that too long.
No, we didn't beat that horse too much.
We hit the basis of it, and we probably said enough for the entire next year or so.
Right.
We're going to take 2 or 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Have you ever thought that maybe voting, maybe all this politics constantly surrounding you is not the way to achieve freedom in your life? Hi, I'm Remso W. Martinez, and I ask myself the same question. That's why I'm on a journey to find true freedom in my lifetime. From learning about financial independence, to new ways to develop rugged individualism, to amazing guests living strange, crazy, amazing lifestyles that you've only thought might be real, but actually are. Go ahead and check out my new show, On the Run with Remso W. Martinez at the We Are Libertarians Network. You can find On the Run with Remso W. Martinez on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. You know how the internet works. Come on down and let's discover how to achieve real freedom in your life together.
Hey everybody, I just want to take this time to give a big shout out to the very first sponsor of the Break the Bell podcast. That is Goulash Media. They can be found at goulashmedia.net. Goulash Media specializes in graphic design, web design, audio recordings, video work, wedding videos, music videos, even political campaign videos. Goulash Media caters to the little guy with the big vision. You can check them out at goulashmedia.net. That's GOULASH media.net. And we're back.
We are. Do you feel relieved?
I feel relieved. I took a piss.
Yeah, good.
And my tension is relieved, I guess.
Good.
Not as relieved as I would like, but we got time later, though.
Absolutely. Again, Patreon.
Yes, indeed. So we talked some political stuff. We got our... Are we good for the rest of the election cycle now?
I think we're good until the Hawkeye Cockeye.
All right. Which I just learned was the official name of that.
Yes.
I guess. So
I'm hoping Ivanka's there again. That's all I'm saying.
Well, are you gonna go if she is?
Oh hell
is
yeah!
She still like anything to look at? I mean, everybody said how hot she was.
She was very hot last time I saw her.
I mean, she was. I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that she's Donald Trump's daughter that just kind of takes it away from me.
Maybe, yeah. Or her husband's a dick.
Or that. I mean, he's Jared freaking Kushner.
Right.
If there's any conspiracy to be had out there, it's
he's
not Donald Trump. It's Jared Kushner.
He's kind of the Trump Hunter Biden.
Yeah. I can see that, but he's less of a drug addict dumbass about
less
it.
Of a coke, and he's married to Ivanka Trump.
So we're moving over to.
Yes.
I mean,
I was really hoping to visit there in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, you still can.
It's probably a lot cheaper
it might be
now.
cheaper. Yes, I was gonna say it might be a lot cheaper now. Deadliest wildfire in 100 years. Saw they were saying. I think the death toll was up to like 93 or something like that.
Although I'd seen other people say it's up in the thousands. But again, conspiracy people.
Now, how often do you hear of a wildfire causing mass deaths in the first place? I mean, when you're trapped on an island,
right?
I mean, they're talking about people running to the into the ocean.
I heard that. Yeah,
to
people
avoid
were like
the fire.
jumping into the ocean.
That's like movie-esque there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I just don't know.
When I first heard about it, the person who was telling me about it was like, "Oh, I think that it started from a volcano."
Yeah, I had seen. Well, they're still saying they have no idea. I'd seen potentially like volcano mixed with like dry conditions and lightning strikes,
hurricane winds.
Yeah, I don't know. Then I'd seen like some gas company explosion to like arson or like we're not gonna know.
Right.
They're not gonna tell us.
They'll never tell us.
But it's weird to me.
Isn't it odd though? I mean, I think this is the first year California has not had wildfires. And Canada erupts in Hawaii.
Canada and Hawaii. Hawaii's in the water. The fucking water.
Right, yeah.
And it's too dry. It's like you could have just been like splashing shit onto for the last like 6 months, splashing water onto your freaking property, and it would probably been okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Has there really? I don't ever remember there being wildfires in Hawaii.
I don't remember ever hearing about it either.
I don't know. Maybe we just don't pay attention because
it's Hawaii.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
But apparently there was like windstorm, like a dry storm. Which is
there
weird.
was a hurricane. Hurricane Dora was coming up.
The Explorer.
Yes, yes. And Swiper swiped it over to Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
And with the dry conditions, apparently fanned the flames.
So here is a timeline how deadly wildfires took over Maui day by day. So this is it's going to break down what happened, I guess, because I didn't even know there was fires there until like yesterday when they're like, all of Maui is burnt to the ground.
Right.
And it's just like, I hadn't even read that Maui was on fire. So
yeah, like I said, I heard about it. I think when was it? It was Saturday. Saturday, I heard about it, and then I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
So it says a perfect storm of strong winds and dry conditions left Maui vulnerable. Dozens of people have been killed. So this is from abcnews.com.
Saturday.
Dozens of people have been killed in the devastating Maui wildfires that also left thousands of structures, including homes, businesses, and cultural centers, destroyed. The fires crept up on residents and tourists. From what I've heard, I don't feel like it crept up, like snuck up on them. I feel like it just like poof was there, like it blew through. Because creeping up, I feel like they could be like, "Oh, it's coming. We should probably leave."
You slowly see it.
Yeah, we should probably leave. But apparently they crept up on residents and tourists of the Hawaii island of Maui on August 8th. August 8th? That was like
Tuesday?
A week ago almost. I don't know.
So it was,
last Tuesday.
Yeah, so I heard about it on Tuesday.
All right. So this has been going on almost a week. As a perfect storm of strong winds and dry conditions left Maui vulnerable to what state officials say has become the deadliest natural disaster in the state's history. No, I mean, there's volcanoes there.
Right, yeah.
Fires, we already read that. Here is how the disaster turned deadly, slowly blazing through several separate parts of the island. Monday, August 7th, Maui faced high winds. The National Weather Service recorded incredibly high wind gusts across Hawaii with a high wind warning issued by the organization for portions of Maui County through 6 a.m. Wednesday. Some regions would go on to face wind gusts up to 67 miles an hour throughout the week, which officials say fueled the strength of the wildfires across the island. Maui has been in a drought, according to the National Integrated Drought Information System, which also created the perfect storm for the incoming blazes. Tuesday, the blazes began. At 12:20 a.m., just after midnight, a brush fire was reported in the Kula area in central part of Maui, according to officials. This would become the upcountry Maui wildfire. At 6 a.m., around 6:30 a.m., actually, a brush fire of about 3 acres was reported around Lahaina Luna Road, which passed through the historic town of Lahaina in West Maui. The fire in Lahaina was declared at 9 a.m. 100% contained just before 9 a.m., according to Maui County officials. Containment indicates what percentage of the fire perimeter has been enclosed by a control line. By 3 p.m., officials reported the perimeter of the upcountry fire had spread about 1,000 acres and reached as far as Kualano Place near Kula Ridge, or Kula Lodge. An afternoon flare-up of Lahaina fire forced the closure of Lahaina Bypass. Residents from both regions continued to evacuate. The assistant fire chief said the fire can be a mile or more from your house, but in a minute or two, it can be at your house. Burning airborne materials can light fires a great distance away from the main body of fire.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Think about that. Something is on fire. It blows in the air, it lands somewhere else. It catches that on fire. That we needed a fire assistant chief to tell us that. 9:45, Mayor Richard Bisson issued an emergency proclamation in response to the fires. So here's a picture of the fire from the air. Mostly just smoke, it looks like.
Yeah.
Says on August 9th at 3 p.m., or it says August 9th, West Maui's without power and has no landline or cell phone service.
Okay.
That is odd to me. I could see the power. I could see the landline, but no cell service. Like everything to just all of a sudden all fucking shut off. That sparks my ding ding, like my freaking conspiracy bells start to go off, because we've talked about this before between me and you before we even started podcasting. If they were going to do something like an EMP or something, all they got to do is shut off all the communication.
Yeah.
And then they can tell you whatever you want, but you can't get because think about it. If you don't have landline or cell phone service, you're getting no access to the internet, no access to outside information, as well as nobody outside is getting the information from the ground. So they could be telling us one thing and telling them something else, and no way to know which is which. And you're not getting any direct reporting from the ground unless there's sat phones or something like that.
Which you would think maybe they would think about being on an island in the middle of nowhere.
Yes. So keep the cell phone thing in the back of your head, because that was what got me going. I was just like, really? Even cell service just stopped all on this same day. 3 p.m. Firefighting crews are continuing to battle Lahaina, as well as fires in the Pelehu, Kihei, and upcountry areas.
You're doing very well.
Thank you. At 3:30, a federal team arrived in Maui and is on the ground in Lahaina to assist with search and rescue efforts amid the active Lahaina fire. Early reports show 6 lives were lost, but the toll was expected to climb. This is a deeply somber day, said Mayor Bisson. The gravity of losing any life is tragic. As we grieve with families, we offer prayers for comfort in the inconsolable time. August 10th, the Lahaina fire was reported 80% contained after the fire department reported progress in fighting all 3 fires across Maui. The Pelehu fire was reported 70% contained. A containment percentage of the upcountry fire remained pending. Officials announced the death toll had risen to 55 people. August 11th at 3 p.m., officials announced Lahaina fire 85% contained, the Pelehu fire 80% contained, and upcountry 50%. A Cananapoli fire reported above the Pukalili at 6:10 p.m. was reported to be 100% contained. The death toll roughly 80% deceased. August 12th, the fire at that one word and that other word region was extinguished, impacting 1 acre. Meanwhile, firefighting crews fought to extinguish flare-ups in the Lahaina and upcountry fires, both which had destroyed dozens of structures combined. Death toll rose to 93. August 13th, which would have been yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Upcountry fires deemed 60% contained, impacting an estimated 678 acres.
That's today.
That's today?
I believe so.
No, today's 14th.
Oh, all right.
The Pelehu fire is 100% contained. By this time, the Pacific Disaster Center states an estimated total of 27,000 structures exposed to the lane of fire, 2,200 structures damaged or destroyed, and 2,170 acres burned. Of the buildings exposed to the fire, 86% classified as residential, according to the center. In Kula, the center reports at least 544 structures have been exposed, with 96% of them being residential. The fires have cost billions of dollars in damage, State Governor Josh Green said in a press conference on Sunday. I mean, anything, you got any thoughts there so far? Anything sparking your bills or anything like that?
I mean, it's total. I mean, with that kind of percentage of structures on that small of a space, it's like it's gone. That's everything.
Yeah, right. So here's some pictures that came out of Maui of the damage, if I can get to pull up. And to me, it looks like a freaking bomb went off. I've never been to like an entire island that was destroyed by a freaking forest fire or a wildfire, but it looks like a fucking bomb went off.
Yeah, no, I agree. It does.
And to me, I'm just like, it's conspiracy theory or not, it's just insane that happened. That much burned. Again, you're isolated on an island. Mm-hmm. It's not like freaking somewhere around here where it's like, well, it burns and there's like all the shit like agriculture shit that can burn the other direction, which is probably what'll happen. No, I mean the entire island just like caught on fire pretty much. Derek says smoke signals are useless. Too soon. Based on our communication. Yes. So I mean, what are your thoughts looking at these? Have you seen much wildfire damage?
I haven't, but I mean the damage I've seen usually on TV or whatnot, I mean, is usually total with like, I mean, as far as structures being burned to the ground, trees being gone, poles being gone. I mean, everything just kind of leveled. And here, like you said, it looks less like a burn down and more like some kind of explosion.
Yeah. How are the buildings all crumbled to the ground, but there's like power poles?
Right.
I mean, maybe these are like metal poles or something, but there's trees here that don't even look like they have charring on them. But again, we're speculating.
With it, being that dry of a condition, you would think those trees would go up like candles.
Here's a black charred tree, but then over here up in the corner, here's a tree that doesn't look like it was even touched. So I don't know. Again, just speculation here. Yeah. These cars are completely like windows shattered out of them. Yeah. I mean, does a wildfire like shatter I mean, they're talking like thousands of degrees though.
I mean, you would think that I've seen burned cars and I've seen them charred, and I mean that rarely there's I mean
that hot, I guess, like the shit around like the ceiling holding the window in could have just gave out.
Yeah, and the glass could have like melted, I bet you would think that there'd be more charring. It doesn't look like it looks less burned and more like it was impacted.
Right. I don't know. Again, that's might just be the conspiracy theorist in me. Right. I mean, you do have look at this. Yeah, this is like a concrete structure.
Yeah.
I don't know what was in between it, but you see where like concrete is just missing and falling down, and then concrete is standing. And so I don't know, it looks more like an impact than a fire, I guess. Yeah. What do I know? I'm an idiot, I guess. But you got concrete buildings that were destroyed, but then look at all these power poles
right
in the background that are clearly like no impact whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because there's nothing. I don't know. I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I'm a fucking idiot.
I don't have a lot of experience with it, but it doesn't look like what I've typically seen burned.
Right. Who knows? But the governor knows. The governor there, Hawaii Governor Josh Green, which sounds like a very Hawaiian name, says very real global warming caused conditions for the deadly wildfire. So obviously we're playing the climate change blame game.
If he passes a green bill, would they just
immediately
say he's egotistical?
Democrat governor called the blaze a fire hurricane that left Lahaina like a war zone. All right, so I got to ask for you people still listening. Did anybody have fire hurricane on their bingo card for 2023? Anybody did you have fire hurricane?
No.
I never thought fire, of all the things that could have potentially went wrong this year, fire hurricane was never on.
I still had Sharknado on, and it hasn't happened yet.
That you think would be more likely in Hawaii than a fire hurricane.
Exactly. This is going to be a sci-fi movie now.
Yes. Hawaii Governor Josh Green said Sunday that global warming played a major role in the Maui wildfire that destroyed a historic town and so far killed at least 93 people. Green spoke about the devastation in the centuries-old town of Lahaina during an appearance on MSNBC's The Sunday Show with Jonathan Capehart, describing the wildfire as a fire hurricane with gusting 80-mile-per-hour winds and 1,000-degree heat, creating fire cyclones going through buildings. Maybe that's what tore down the buildings with the fire cyclones.
Fire cyclone would be more accurate. Okay.
I guess. Sure.
Yeah.
Everything is burnt to the ground in Lahaina, the Democrat said, calling it a war zone that's completely destroyed. Green attributed strong winds from Hurricane Dora, which passed far to the south of the island last week, in very dry drought conditions on Maui, to the fast-moving blaze. When fire jumped from one spot to another, there were 3 or 4 fires going on at the same time.
Question. Would you not think, if the winds were that strong, that yes, it may push fire, but wouldn't it also push the ocean water through the island?
One would think possibly,
right?
Like water waves and shit. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, typically when you hear about hurricanes, that's something I would think of.
Well, the hurricane was far away. It was just the winds that were hitting there.
I mean, still.
It got seeded very quickly with those 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, he said. And then the fire moved at essentially a mile per minute, 60 miles per hour down through the community. Could you imagine that? Just a fire like going
60 miles.
60 miles an hour, like the speed of an interstate down through, just flying through the island.
That would be insane.
It's not like the last one said the fire crept up on them. This guy is saying it just flew through at 60 miles. I mean, how big is Maui? Across?
I don't know. Not that big.
So either somebody here's fucking lying. Either it crept up on them or it just wiped them out.
I think they probably did not expect it to move as fast as it did.
Yeah, but obviously they didn't. Who would expect that? Shit, I cannot freaking type on my phone.
Wait, what the hell?
Mentions of not Maui.
No, that's what I got too.
Good God. 735 square miles. It's 48 miles long and 26 miles wide. So you're telling me the entire island, based on this guy, burned up in like 30 minutes?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
But this was days. We read the timeline.
Yeah, it was. It's been about a week.
So where's he getting? It flew across 60 miles an hour through the community. I mean, maybe in spots.
Right.
Maybe it just went like across a block. But
Yeah.
there's no way it swept across the island at 60 miles an hour, because the whole island would be engulfed in less than an hour.
Right. Yeah.
So somebody, again, is, I mean,
maybe exaggerating.
bullshitting. Yeah. That's what a fire hurricane is going to look like in the era of global warming, Green said. It sounds like he's capitalizing on a crisis. Yes, there is a real crisis here. He is capitalizing it and saying global warming
plays into the conspiracy theory that we'll be getting in.
Yeah. Green said global warming is very real for us everywhere, issuing a call for people to do what they can to stop and reverse its effects. The Lahaina fire had become the deadliest U.S. wildfire in more than a century. Officials are facing the challenge of identifying the remains that have been recovered so far because of the bodies were turned to ash and are falling apart in their hands. Gross. Green also responded to criticism about the island's siren system failing to warn residents of the approaching fire.
Burned.
It just lit on fire. But maybe they should
higher grade firewire.
Yeah. Thousands of residents fled the town, with video showing some jumping into the Pacific Ocean to escape the inferno. This sounds made up. It just sounds fucking made up.
It sounds like a movie.
It does. The governor said officials are looking into whether enough was done to get the sirens activated in time, noting there was mass destruction of telecommunications during the wildfire.
Didn't they test the siren series when someone accidentally almost launched a nuke?
Yes, they did. They absolutely did that.
What year was that?
That was back when we were talking about. That's what.
Yeah.
Our conversation about the EMPs brought up. But that, I mean, that was
2020, right?
No, it was before we started this show, so it was 2019 probably. Otherwise, we ourselves would have communicated like we always do within seconds on our cell phones. We'll make sure we get to all the answers that people deserve.
I'm sure we will.
No, we won't ever. And that's the end of the article, apparently. So, response to the governor's response. Do you think on either party, is this the time to go political?
Oh, fuck no.
It's like, well, we told you about global warming.
Bodies crumbling in your arms, and you're going to be like, well, that's what happens with global warming.
Do you want fire hurricanes? Because I don't want fire hurricanes. Right. We have to fix global warming.
That's going to be the next Al Gore movie.
Derek brought up they can send text to everyone telling them about nukes, but not when there's a very real fire. Right. So he thought that at the same time you did. So did you read that and copy his answer?
Yeah, you got me.
God damn it, Bill. So fire, hurricanes, global warming, politicizing this real event. The fires are probably still burning, and he's like global warming. And this is like Hawaii is big on like petroleum production too, off out in the Pacific. So they're not innocent in all of this.
Right.
I don't know. The election cycle's coming up. This is his big moment here. This is his George Bush 9/11 moment here.
His Katrina.
Katrina was not good for George Bush.
It's not, but he's hoping it'll be better for him.
Yes.
If George Bush said this is global warming, he would have done better.
Right. So what do you think about the communication stuff? Let's go back to the communication stuff, where the power, the freaking the landlines and the cell phones all went out on with the same day.
Yeah. No, that's bizarre. You would think that, again, a lot of that stuff, because you're in a place, Hawaii, that is used to having tsunamis, typhoons, high winds, right? So you're gonna have something that's a little bit more protected than just
now 1,000-degree fires flowing across this island at 60 miles an hour, apparently.
Right.
Things are gonna burn up, and wires are gonna burn up, and the power's going to go out. So, and that was kind of their first thing. Their first thought, like reports were like, well, obviously the cell towers didn't hold up to 1,000-mile-an-hour heat.
Right.
Except that's not why the cell towers went down, apparently, from what I read. The cell towers didn't go down from the fire at all. The cell towers went down because of the power going out. Because they weren't anywhere near the fire. Most of the cell towers weren't anywhere near the fires.
Right. Usually cell towers would be up on a high ground.
Yes. I gotta find. I don't have this article pulled up, apparently. Hang on. Time out.
Okay.
A lot of them. All right. So if you're a cell phone company, right?
Yeah. Right.
So you get the cell tower all up and working, which 2023 is pretty big fucking deal. It's pretty big. It's pretty important utility out there.
Yes.
Almost on par with electricity and water.
Yes.
What's the first thing you do after it's all? You make sure it's up and working. What's something that you would have there to make sure it keeps working.
A backup generator or batteries, solar power, maybe. I don't know.
Some kind of fucking power backup.
Because you kind of want to. That's like you said, emergency communication system.
Now the power grid goes down and takes out the cell communications that are apparently miles away.
Yeah.
No backup whatsoever. Like,
Right.
how does that even fucking happen?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find cell tower fire. Yeah, because this article says the tower or the fires did not cause the fires like themselves.
Yeah. And speaking from experience, right?
As a technician of some sorts.
Well, technician of some sorts, but also having survived the Draco of 2020,
Right.
when our power was out for a week and a half, right? In my area, at least, cell towers still worked.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, Verizon was jammed up.
But that was because a truck ran into the tower and destroyed a bunch of wires.
All right.
So, but not because of the winds or power being out.
So here's a map of the island. You see the fires here?
Okay, yeah.
And here's the location of the towers.
Yeah, right.
Not on fire.
Yeah.
Cell tower fires did not cause Maui's communications outage. Power was the problem. So this says, according to Hawaii Governor Josh Green, residents will be allowed to return, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. I want to get to the cell tower. Says cell tower and telecom equipment damages were overblown. When the fire started to sweep through Lahaina, communication cell service in some areas was limited. According to Mahina Martin, Chief Communication Officer at Maui Emergency Agency 911 service on Maui's west side, went down with some resorts losing communication due to downed cell towers. CNN reported her statement and brought in Glenn O'Donnell, VP of Market Research firm Forrester for color. So CNN, so the 911 person, chief communication officer is like, the cell towers went down. Yeah. And so CNN brings in their expert on the issue, and their expert, you know how CNN's experts are.
Yeah.
When the fires get too close to cell sites, they will obviously burn equipment, antennas, and feed lines. Again, too close.
Right. Yeah.
Here we go. In extreme cases, they will also weaken the towers, leading to some collapse, kind of like 9/11 Tower 8 or
Right.
Tower 7.
Right.
His comments were picked up by mainstream and industry media, and they relayed the crippling of cell towers. CNN said fires at cell towers caused cell phone service to go down. However, according to the Wireless Estimators review of FCC and TowerCo data, there doesn't appear to be a single tower in Lahaina, and the approximately 12 towers on the island are miles away from where the 3 wildfires were located. The primary cause of service interruption was power outage along the West Coast, where it was reported that at least 14,000 homes and businesses didn't have power. Many cell sites are on top of condominiums, office buildings, and hotels. For example, approximately 1.5 miles from the center of Lahaina, American Tower Corporation manages cell sites atop the Westin Maui Resort's 11-story buildings in Kanapali. The complex did not suffer fire damage, but Westin said in a statement the resort is also without power, as is much of the Maui coast. I said Wednesday that the resort was under a shelter-in-place and management team was monitoring the mandatory evacuation. Carriers Thursday deployed mobile cells and satellites on wheels to assist with communication in Maui's rescue efforts. T-Mobile informed CNN that its cell sites were holding up well during the fires. As soon as conditions allow, our priority is to deploy teams with portable generators that will bring temporary power back to our sites. Again, that begs the question, why was there no backup generator on these cell sites to begin with?
You're in an area that is, again, susceptible to typhoons, hurricanes, tsunamis, and volcanoes, and you don't have earthquakes, and you don't have backup power.
Something, I don't know. Derek Ambrose might have some insight here. Cell sites have backup batteries, but they only last a few hours max. They have generators, but they're powered by fuel, and that's flammable. But the generators would have been nowhere near the fucking fires.
Right.
That's the thing. The generator at our big cell site, he says, have generators with 200-gallon tanks that can run for multiple days. If one of our fiber hubs goes down, the cell sites go down, but they all block buildings and also have generators in case of power loss. Maybe they didn't want to maintain the generators just in case the fires got there.
Now, if they came out and said, well, the fiber burned,
I could see
that would be more acceptable.
Right.
But that's
just
not what
a
they're
power
saying.
outage.
Right.
And no reason whatsoever, because they say miles away from any of the existing fires, no reason to not run a generator, at least until it seems like it's going to be a dangerous option here.
You would think that'd be priority one.
That alone, to me, is where the conspiracy bells go off, because, again, we've talked about if they were to fabricate some sort of emergency, the first thing they would do was lock us out of all sorts of all forms of communication. All forms of internet access, all forms of external communication. They just
isolate everybody, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, that's how you control a population. You don't let them communicate with somebody else that would be able to tell you what's going on.
Right.
We apply that to like a fake alien invasion. You knock out all the communication except for like an emergency radio comment saying, this just in, and blah, 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 alien invasion. But nobody's allowed to look it up on the internet. I mean, majority of the people might believe it. If you allow them the communication to the outside, you're going to get people that are like, there's not really an alien invasion going on. And you get Reddit out there. It's like, has anybody actually fucking seen aliens? And everybody's like, nope. So you have to take out the communications first. I mean, this whole, I don't know. This could be a naturally occurring fire or hurricane that they decided, you know what, we're going to use this to test like how responses in a crisis would go if we knocked out communication power, you know, like
I'd hate to be that guy.
But it's our government.
Well, yeah, right.
It's our fucking government.
Like, well, that tested poorly.
Yeah, it was bad. People ran for the ocean.
So let's just say the power went out.
Yes. People might not like it. You know, capitalizing on a crisis is to like, oh, there's fire hurricane. Let's shut the power off to the cells and see what happens.
That sounds like a Dwight Schultz move from The Office, right?
Dwight Schrute.
Sorry.
Yes, when he like locked all the doors and
set the
there's
fire.
A fire. What are you gonna do? And Stanley has a heart attack. That's great. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely shady for sure.
So then it gets weirder because somebody posts an image like this. God, come on, pull up. And claims that there are lasers being fired from the sky in Hawaii causing these fires. Have you seen this image?
Energy weapons.
Lasers. Motherfucking lasers.
But this is not the first time we've heard of strange lights coming down on Hawaii.
No?
No.
When was the other time?
Don't you remember? Holy fuck. That just hit me. Oh my gosh.
I don't remember.
I gotta look it up.
I remember
I think it was like a year ago.
No,
it was after the weather balloon.
Oh,
the weather balloon. There was strange lights coming down on Hawaii,
but this time they just accidentally lit a fire.
Well, I don't know.
Now, it would be pretty easy to fabricate this. People are saying it's real. So this says Maui, Hawaii was an attack. It says this photo, God damn it. This photo was taken by a Hawaiian resident. Now, other people are saying that like Snopes, I think, said that this was actually a photo of Elon Musk's SpaceX taking off from California. So this was a reused photo. Does that even look like a rocket taking off to you?
No, it does not.
I've never seen the fire on the ground as the rocket's like completely away, unless it just like.
Okay. Strange lights in Hawaii sky have locals scrambling for answers. This is March 1st.
Okay. What the fuck's going on in Hawaii, first of all? Derek says, this just in, U.S. Navy goes full Dr. Evil and gets sharks with freaking lasers on their head. Anyways, anything else there?
No, it says strange floating lights over Hawaii.
But what do you, like, do you think that photo's real of the lasers in Hawaii? I mean, we've seen this.
Yeah.
I think they kind of said similar with the Canada wildfires.
Okay.
People said direct energy weapons for 9/11 disintegrated the buildings. It's an easy cop-out answer to say it was a direct energy weapon.
That's going to be our go-to from now on.
Now there was, let me see if I can find the article. Let's get into the weird.
All right.
Very briefly. I mean, we got like 15 minutes left, maybe. Yeah. Let me try to pull this article up because
aliens? Are we thinking aliens?
No.
Okay.
I'm not thinking. What the hell is going on? What is going on?
Aliens.
Probably. CIA has taken over my keypad, my Bluetooth keypad. Internet of Things, smart cities and shit. Come on now. All right, it's just gonna take forever to load, apparently. I don't know what's happening. All right, I don't know. It's not working. It's not letting me pull up the article. Let me see if I can pull it up from my phone and just read it. Which is fine because you guys don't care to read anyway. So I'll read it for you if I can find it. Weird shit.
That's not what I was expecting at all.
What?
Oh, the lights. I thought there was something. Why are there strange green laser lights over Hawaii?
I don't know. Aliens.
The most likely cause for lasers from space in the DAC-1 or atmospheric environment monitoring satellite, which contains an aerosol carbon detection lidar that emits a green laser at 527 wavelengths. That is why there was strange green lights above Hawaii.
Sure.
So it's a weather monitoring station.
I don't believe it. It's
March
a weather
9th.
modification station, maybe?
Right, yeah.
Derek says it's not aliens, it's ghosts. I feel like we've been on this train before. A couple weeks ago when we did our Bill doesn't believe in aliens but believes in ghosts episode.
Yes, it's a Chinese pollution monitoring satellite, DACI-1, which produced green laser lights over Hawaii on January 28th.
Bullshit. I don't buy it. It's the official story, so I don't buy it. All right, so this is from LinkedIn, so you know it's obviously true. It's from Dr. Kathy J. Forty on LinkedIn. It's titled, "What Really Happened in Maui? I Was There." I don't know. I want to. Somebody give me the contact info for Dr. Kathy Forty.
What is she a doctor of?
It doesn't say. She's an author, apparently. I live in Maui and am okay, but I was there in Lahaina the morning the whole truth is yet to come out. Please read my personal story below. I want to thank all of you who have reached out to me from across the world after seeing pictures and videos of devastating destruction that took place August 8th, which destroyed old historic town of Lahaina. It also rampaged through agricultural lands in Kula and upcountry region of this beautiful island. The death toll will easily reach more than 100 once they locate all the bodies. Thousands are homeless, and so I ask that you give whatever you can to hungry homeless heroes, and blah, blah, blah. My story of what happened. The strange Maui fires. A friend called me early on the morning of Tuesday, August 8th, and told me he had a strong urge to visit Lahaina that day. Why? I don't know, but he had a strong urge. Says, tempting me with lunch at Cool Cats, one of my favorite eateries in Old Lahaina. I said, okay, let's go. The 30-minute drive was without incident, without winds, and without any warning advisories. So no winds at this point, she's saying.
Okay. Which
they're saying It was windy. It had been windy for a couple days.
Right.
As soon as we reached Lahaina, all power got zapped. Cell phones, internet, traffic lights, GPS, the 911 emergency system, which is never supposed to go down, and the power outage caused every store and shopping mall to immediately close. Nothing was open. Then the winds came in, bringing with it rare rainless hurricane with gusts from 60 to 80 miles an hour. Trees became uprooted and branches were coming down everywhere along with power poles. I heard a crash behind me, and when I was less than 30 seconds prior, was a crashed and uprooted tree. It was time to get out of there. No shit. No evacuation sirens ever went off that day when the fires began. They failed as well. My friend and I escaped through the back road, going all the way around the island as all traffic was blocked in the other direction. Many might not have known about this back route since GPS was down. These fires were indeed strange. The night before, both my friend and many others claimed to have had very restless sleep. I personally experienced a strange flooding wave of energy in my head, almost like seizure activity, which I have come to identify as dark energy coming in. Weird. This flooding energy continued on and off the next morning, more so when I was in Lahaina. This told me there was directed energy involved in what was occurring. This was not just a random act of Mother Nature. It reminded me of strange fires in Paradise, California, a few years back, which swept through and wiped it off the map. Their only crime was getting in the way of a high-speed railway project slated to come through the town. A little bit of history to draw your own conclusion. Historic Lahaina is the key harbor seaport on the island. The Lanai ferry goes back and forth there. All the commercial snorkeling and scuba diving firms set sail from there, and tourists flock there in daily droves. The problem with historic Lahaina was that it has a large old Hawaiian community that was in the way of developers. Now it's like ground zero, declaring a disaster area. And federal and state rules are probably going to be tossed aside. It's a toxic mess. They will undoubtedly blame it on climate change and welcome in the developers to totally bulldoze and level it. All over the island, tracts of land are being bought up by corporations, and no one knows who is behind them. Foreign interests, the people on the island are beginning to put the pieces of the puzzle together and suspect this was a major power land grab. In January 23, there was a smart city conference where they discussed turning Maui into a 15-minute smart island. Next month, there's a digital summit to discuss turning the island digital and all AI. I kid you not. They were talking about AI governance.
Yes.
Did you see that part?
Yeah, I think that was supposed to come in next month.
Fire started in the ag lands upcountry first. The breadbasket of Maui and resources were sent there first. So Lahaina, when it happened, had few resources to fight the wall of fire that swept through the entire area, trapping hundreds who could not get out and sadly perished. No sirens warned them to get out either. Right now, Maui needs your spiritual prayers, blah, blah, blah. So many people are homeless and missing and are not out of the woods yet. Let's see. Truth will set you free, but it will piss you off first. So I don't know. What do you think of that story? She supposedly was there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Supposedly felt these weird, like,
energy
seizure
waves.
energy,
Right.
dark energy.
I don't know
waves.
anything about that.
I don't know either, but
everything, including cells and 9/11 early warning system going down, that's bizarre.
Yeah. Everything going down. Supposedly no wind to start with, but then all of a sudden a gust of wind.
Well, and also her story of there not being wind contradicts the story of them talking about wind since August 7th.
Right, exactly. What day did she say she went down there?
I think she said the 8th.
That's what I thought too. So I don't know. Like, I don't know who this lady is, if she's really there, if she's even a real human.
Right.
I mean, the shit comes out. Yeah, it was August 8th. The stuff comes out in droves.
Right.
And
I know that I've seen a lot of people talking about how the survivors there are being inundated by phone calls from investors wanting to buy their land.
Now, the other thing was the governor even came out and was like, I'm not going to let, because there were several locals that are like, we're from this area and property is already insane to buy up, and what am I supposed to do? Wait for insurance money to cover it, and it's not going to cover like the freaking cost it's going to be, because I mean, the average home there is like $1 million or something, except for these small, like local.
Oh yeah, it's prime real estate.
Well, the governor comes out and he's like, I'm not going to let this turn into like a price gouging scheme thing. The government's going to buy up the land and develop housing for like cheap housing for the labor force. Do you see where this is going?
Oh yeah. Yep.
The government's going to buy up the land and regulate the cost of it, so you all can live in the cheap government housing.
Yeah, right. While we clean up the mess, and we don't worry, we won't let outside interests come into Hawaii. We're going to protect your homes.
We are the outside interest.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We've already sold your land.
I mean, she mentioned the smart city stuff.
Yeah.
Snopes again has
said no.
Said that's not
but
true.
There's documentation saying that.
Now, some of the like the screenshots that they had showed, I'll pull up that article, the article that talks more about the smart city shit, because she barely mentioned it.
Yeah.
But some of the screenshots were actually from like 2012 or something.
Yeah,
some project.
2018, they talked prominently about it.
It was like some Japanese, like Hawaii project to like make the energy grid smart or something. It wasn't to make smart cities.
Right.
And the conference they're referring to, it talks about smart cities and AI, but it talks about other things too. So we're and also there's no evidence that lasers lit this on fire, because there's no official cause of the fire yet.
But if you remember the historic documentary of Independence Day, before the lasers hit, all the power went off.
Obviously. I mean, they gotta suck up all the energy
to blast it down.
To blast it down. Yes, exactly. So this is from Due Diligence and Art. Okay. I mean, it's not any official page, but it kind of digs into, it talks a little bit about the smart city stuff. So this says, this is a quick unplanned post. I'm extremely saddened by the destruction of Lahaina and on Maui. Ed Dow noted that the official death toll is 80, but rumors that it could be as high as 500 to 1,000 people. I've gone through several years of severe wildfires, quote unquote, in California and Nevada, which affected the neighborhoods I cared about, destroyed several houses of my neighbors, resulted in severe damage to water company where I volunteer as a treasurer. It took a while, but we have restored it. Displaced many people and destroyed acreage of forest. Locally, nobody was confused about the true causes of these fires. Over 90% of them were caused by Pacific Gas and Electric Company's equipment blowing up. Delayed maintenance is up to 60 years, but PGE is mandated to buy green, extremely expensive energy, as well as many cases of arson. Paradise, California fire was most likely a result of some sort of weaponry being tested and deployed. Not sure where they're what her basis is of that. She's just going to throw that out there. Climate change is a hoax, but climate terrorism is not. A reader forwarded this information and links about recent relevant events on Maui. I have readers from Hawaii and would love to hear from you. Blah, blah, blah. Let me
continue reading.
Yeah. I have readers from Hawaii and would love to hear from you. Know and think about what you know and think about these developments. The government of Hawaii states goal for rebuild is to make the entire island of Maui the first smart island. Now, I haven't found any official statements from Hawaii saying this, so I'm not sure where this information is coming from, if it's just from Reddit or like conspiracy theorists or somebody knows something.
I had heard that the WEF actually had a page on this, and then they deleted it.
Oh, of course they did. They want the entire island governed by AI, as outlined in the Hawaii Digital Government Summit of 2023 that they plan to host next month, September 25th, Maui. Well, how's that going to go if the whole island is burned up?
Yeah.
Plans to implement a digital. So here's some resources. I'm not going to get into all of them. Hitachi recently announced that it has begun operations on the demonstration site for the Japan-U.S. Island Grid Project, commonly referred to as Jump Smart Maui. Now, that was like 2012, 2017. So that project, that's old.
Yeah.
So they're using that as kind of the reasoning behind this. But that project's actually old. But there is something going on Maui. It's like kind of seems to be the experimental smart
right
spot.
Yeah.
in collaboration with the New Energy and Industrial Tech Development Organization, or NEDO.
NEDO?
An opening ceremony was held on Maui to coincide with the launch of the site operation. Last January of 23, there was a smart city conference in Maui to turn Maui into an entire smart city island, pushing everything electric and making 15-minute smart cities. Lastly, there was a contract last year that was signed to build high-rise condos and businesses in Lahaina, which was a historic town that couldn't have any new development done. But now it can. I don't have photos of Banyan, but here's a picture of a huge rubber tree from Buenos Aires. Why
does that have to do with anything?
I don't know, but that's the end of the article. So, according to this and some of the videos you sent me and some of the Reddit posts that I've read, it's all kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Repeating the same thing.
Right.
That Maui is supposed to be this smart city island of smart cities.
Yeah.
And it started out with this Jump Smart Maui initiative back
about 10 years ago.
2017 is when that project ended. Apparently, if they did do some kind of smart power thing,
it didn't work.
It did work exactly how they intended, where they can just flip a button and turn off all the smart power.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and maybe in that Jump Smart Maui program, they're like, well, you guys don't even need generators. That's how smart this shit is.
We'll just take it out.
Yeah, you don't need generators. You don't, or maybe in it, they're like, no more fuel back generators because that goes against the green initiative. Everything has to be green.
Yeah,
you
we'll
have
put
to
solar
have
in
solar generators.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I mean that.
They wouldn't come out and say that.
Oh no, nobody's
like, well, we switched over from all diesel ran generators to go with something more smart.
Wind generators. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Now, the funny thing is when you see Snopes and PolitiFact like refuting this conspiracy, they're like, no, Jump Smart Maui was a project that went on like X amount of years ago and it was just about the smart power grid and blah, blah, blah. But they don't tie that into the power grid ate shit.
Right. Yeah.
In all of this and didn't hold up. And now they're having to resort to fuel backed.
Right.
And we like raise these questions before I even I literally just thought about this now. Hey, there's supposed to be a smart grid, supposed to be a smart power grid.
Right.
The red flags were already going off. Like, why is the power just everywhere and all the communications go smart power grid? What have we always said about like your smart thermostat, your smart? I mean, they don't like something, they can just
flip the switch,
turn it off.
Yep.
They made it easy to, if this was a conspiracy, they made it easy to just shut the power off.
Yeah, and no one's talking about it.
Yeah, except us because
we're awesome.
We're awesome. So then there's this whole like smart city thing. I mean, I don't know. We've talked a little bit about the smart cities, the 15-minute cities, and how they're going to shove us all in freaking cubicles and colonies. And we're not going to, like, everything that we want is going to be within 15 minutes of us. We don't have to travel. We don't have to, like, commute to work. We just get on our little freaking super train and, like, go up a couple blocks. And people are going to be sleeping in our quarters while we're off working and vice versa.
It's very efficient.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Yes.
Why not? I mean, could you see this as some sort of kickoff point?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, if you want to entertain the whole theory of the Great Reset, the reset process has to be ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no just like, oh, we'll just kind of like retrofit everything. No, it's called a reset for a reason.
Yes. Yeah,
you got to burn it down and start over
from the beginning.
It's literally burnt down.
Yeah.
And government buying up the land.
Yeah.
And that's not a conspiracy. That's what the governor came out and was like, oh, don't worry. We'll pay for all the land. We'll buy it up and we'll make it cheap for you.
Right.
And you're not going to own it, but you're going to be happy.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So
it's scary shit.
Yes, I get that this is like the most out there of the conspiracy theories involving this, but it's also so freaking believable at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, Maybe am I just freaking crazy?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, when was the last time you saw high mainline winds just sweep through an area?
When was the last time you saw a fire hurricane, Bill?
Well, it was a movie.
But yeah, the last time we saw in winds was the derecho, and we said that seemed
and we thought it seemed weird.
Yes, and all of a sudden derechos are just like,
Yeah,
oh
it's
yeah,
like, yeah, they happen every year.
There's derecho last year, and there was a derecho in Ohio,
and it always causes billions of dollars of damage, even though you've never heard of it.
Yes, exactly. Right? We've never even like used this phrase before, but now all of a sudden, and then they start redefining derechos as, because it was like straight line winds for an hour, and then it was like, well, it was like winds, straight lines, and blah blah blah, X amount of miles an hour for, like, they downgraded it, or they like redefined it each year, because then come to find out they're like, yeah, we've had 2 derechos here in Iowa since the big derecho. It's like,
what?
Where?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised nobody, like, official reports haven't come out and said that storm we had 2-3 weeks ago was a derecho, because that was straight line winds. It was only like 5-10 minutes, but it was straight line freaking winds.
Almost lost my hat.
Yeah, you did lose your hat, but it was found. So Snopes says this is all false.
Of course.
PolitiFact says it's all false.
Course.
Meta says it's all false.
Of course.
So it's false. I mean, it's not real, right? The official story of the climate change. And are you far enough in your conspiracy brain to believe in like weather weapons, weaponized weather?
Yes.
I mean, they were testing weaponized weather back in the World War
during Vietnam. Yeah.
Why not? You know,
absolutely. And again, I am convinced. I mean, I thought our derecho was very weird and not natural at all.
Yeah. I mean,
and so I would definitely believe that this in Hawaii was something similar.
But you can say that wasn't natural, that wasn't normal, that was weather weapons. But then the climate people can be like, the climate czars can be like, this is not natural, this is not normal, this is clearly climate change.
If you believe in man-made climate change.
Yes.
I do not.
Well, I'm just saying, for the same reasons we believe it could be weather weapons.
Yes.
People on the other side believe it's climate change. And would we ever even possibly know is the question.
Right. Yeah. No, we wouldn't until after we've converted everybody to colonies and be like, hey, look what we can do. We can change the rain and we can move the wind up a little bit. And you want some snow?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, that was climate change, but we now have weather weapons where we can make it rain.
Yeah. Right.
But that wasn't weather weapons. That was climate change.
We wouldn't do that.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So your overall conclusion of Maui fires, like, tell me what happened.
It's
in Maui.
I definitely feel like there's shenanigans there.
Wait a second. Derek Ambrose says the St. Louis Arch is a weather control device, isn't it? Now there's information I haven't even read into.
Know that.
Derek, send me all the information you have on this, because I want to know. That's close to home.
Yeah.
That's
where
the Cardinals play.
That's where the Cardinals play. Maybe they're government agents.
Probably. Anyway, back to
I definitely feel something shady happened there. I don't feel like it was natural. I definitely feel like, and just seeing how people are reacting to this, I could see it being something where they're trying to do a reset.
So you don't think it was just a natural rainless fire hurricane?
No, I do not.
I mean, we have them all the time.
Oh, of course, yes.
And we'll probably keep having these.
We'll probably have one here soon.
Could you imagine the derecho with fire?
Oh God, oh my gosh, that would be.
Yeah, they perfected the derecho, and then they're like, what would happen if we added fire to the derecho? Yes. Maybe we shouldn't try that on the continental U.S.
Let's try that on an island.
On an island that if it burns out of control, there's water to stop it.
Let's shut the power grid off and all the emergency communications.
Yeah. Now, if they had started that, I could see them. well, we should just test. I mean, we already did it in Iowa. Let's test it again in Iowa with fire. And somebody's like, but there's a lot of corn.
Yeah,
it's really dry.
Yeah.
And what if we light the whole? It's kind of like with the atomic bomb. What if we light the atmosphere on fire? It's like, what if we light the entire continental U.S. on fire?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you're probably right.
We might get a good state.
You're probably right. Maybe we should test this on some place that's surrounded by water.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So,
yeah,
I don't know. My bells were going off when I first started reading it, but I was like, there's not the because I read this I think early yesterday, and I was like, I'm not gonna find like conspiracy info on this yet.
Right.
I know my bells are going off, but I'm not going to be able to find this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, have you heard the conspiracy stuff on the Maui fires? I'm like, no. Send it to me though. And then now it's just like all over. This one, the conspiracy went as fast as the wildfires. Went.
Yeah. People were on it.
Yeah. I don't know. Cause there's some where it's just like, you can't find shit on it. It's like, I know there's something here, but I have nothing to back it up, and nobody else is talking about this, but there's got to be something here. And this one is like, there's got to be something here, and there's a lot.
Yeah,
there is a lot here.
So do you think they're actually going to go through whatever plans they may have
on Maui?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, in the very least, they've got to rebuild. The government's already talked about building it up. It's a Democrat-led state. They're going to implement at least the Green New Deal shit that Ocasio-Cortez was pushing for. So might as well throw some smart stuff in there. I mean, why not throw some smart city stuff in there? I mean, it's already an island. We should put like a fast
and obviously, if the emergency system failed, they definitely need some kind of new infrastructure.
And yeah, why not test? I mean, they're talking about 15-minute cities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Maui's already about that size. Absolutely. Why not test it out there?
Yes.
It's
a perfect place to bring out tourists so they can showcase what a 15-minute city looks like.
Absolutely. And then they could tout it as, well, we'll bring the tourists here. They'll pay for it. And we'll boost the economy here on Maui.
Do you like this? We can put one in your state.
Yeah. Great Reset. I never would have pictured the Great Reset starting in Maui, but that's at least the U.S. version of the Great Reset.
Right.
Kick it off. Prediction. Great Reset. U.S. version. Kick it off in Maui.
Yeah.
This year. And it'll probably be somehow tied into the election. They'll I don't know, freaking Kamala Harris will laugh about it and tout it and praise it and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Obama does have history from Hawaii.
Our energy czar. Who's our energy czar? Biden's energy, isn't it? John Kerry's our energy czar. So he's got to visit Maui and tout this stuff.
Yep.
So we got that to look forward to. So let's bring the smart cities into the election.
Right.
And use that as a selling point.
Yeah.
So they better get to work on Maui really fast. So that's all I got on this. You got anything else to add?
No, I think that's pretty much
it. Any final thoughts on the election? Any final thoughts on the Maui weather weapons?
It'll be interesting as we watch this, if this is truly like the kickoff of everything.
It will be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It's pretty fucked.
So if your emergency system goes down, your cell phone, get to someplace fireproof.
Run.
Yeah.
Run really fast. Jump in the ocean before it catches on fire. Hopefully you're close to an ocean. So I'm just getting in the bathtub and filling it up. I mean,
that'll work.
Fail-proof plan there. Just always keep your bathtub full.
There you go. I
mean, you got a hot tub, fill that bitch up. You can just chill out in the water. Out in the hot tub. You'll be safe from a fire. So you'll be fine. That's all we got for this week. Let us know what you think of, first of all, the freaking election stuff going on with Trump and Desantis and Biden being held up by Obama and Kamala.
I mean, we've been predicting Biden being ousted for a while or killed. Does he make it through the election?
I didn't think he'd make it this far, but I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
82. Obviously, he's not doing well.
No,
he hasn't been doing well for a long time.
He's never been doing well. No, I don't think so. That's why they're trying to boost Harris's shit, because they're like, well, if he does die. I guess we gotta make her look popular,
right?
In case, because could you imagine that catastrophe?
Do they bring Michael Obama in?
That's probably that's in their back pocket.
Yeah,
I think that's their secret. Michelle Obama's their secret weapon.
Yeah.
They're making us think that it would be Kamala Harris if he goes out, but I think they like Hail Mary pass.
I've been calling that while.
You have, and I think I could see that happening. Do you think does Michelle Obama beat Donald Trump?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I do too. Unfortunately, that's going to be a sad story. Let us know your comments, your opinions, your thoughts, your crazy conspiracy theories with all of this. You can find us all over the social medias at the handle at Break the Bell Pod, or find links to everything that we do at breakthebellpod.com. Go buy our shit, go support our stuff, go talk crazy on our things.
Absolutely.
Because we enjoy that. So, and we're stupid, so we need other people's stupid opinions too.
And feel free to troll.
Feel free to troll. We had a troll tonight.
We did.
We'll troll you right back. Make sure you check out everything else we do, which right now we're only doing this thing.
Yes.
Eventually we'll get back to doing other things.
Will. It's been a busy summer.
Go back and listen to some of our old shows too. Share it far and wide across the land before we're no longer allowed to share it far and wide across this smart system that we have. So next week, are you going to be here? I got to ask every week now because are you
let's see. That is, yes, I will be here.
I'm planning on being here as well. Next week, same time, same channel, Monday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be live again. So if you're listening in the future, come join us for a live show because they're fun. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time. Have a great rest of your week.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.